Yo, welcome to Ragnarok Radio. Radio for people waiting for the end of the world. So, I'm going to be experimental today. New video, new thing to try. I'm going to try talking about something other than whatever else I talk about. I do that a lot here. It is my firm belief that during the time I was in high school, that, how do I put this? I don't want to say that there was an artistic renaissance that didn't happen, but I also want to say that there was an artistic renaissance that didn't happen. Now you may be wondering why. Where does this come from? How could I say something like this? Well, most of this video, just so everybody's clear on this, is going to feature what is called an opinion. It's completely different from facts. It's based on what I've seen, what I know, and what I've been through. And has nothing to do with, well, I'm not going to say nothing to do with fact, but is more strongly based in me and my experience. So, with that, I believe that somewhere around the time when I was in high school, that there's a renaissance that should have happened. Something should have changed with art. Something should have changed with music. And even though a lot of things did change, and there was a lot of shifting, a lot of moving pieces during that time, I feel as if there is a more particular area in which this should have happened. It seems to me, especially considering the amount of artists that I know, that a good portion of the artists I know are no longer artists. Somewhere along the line, they gave up. They got tired. They figured that they couldn't do it. And I know me personally, when I got to the end of my high school career, I wanted to be a writer. Still do. But for me to pursue that option would have shifted my life a little bit. I may not actually have dropped out of college. I may not have honestly given up for a few years on writing and stopped for a while. I may have been more inspired because it was something that I was actually taking active steps towards doing. But I noticed that a lot of people who wanted to take these steps didn't. And I've always wondered why. Why is it that me and a lot of people around my age who wanted to take these steps didn't? Because it seems to me that people a little bit older than me, a few years, I think when I separate this age range, I think I can separate it by maybe five years. I think 5 years above, 5 years below. It seems to me that people within the 5 years above and 5 years below my age range, which for reference, I'm currently 23. It seems as if those people are more likely to chase their dreams, to go after the things that they want. But it seems like more people around my age don't. Now, I might be completely off on that. I might be completely wrong. But I noticed that during my time in high school, it was the age of people doing it without college, doing it on their own, making moves without having to have a degree. It seemed to have happened a lot, to be honest. A lot of people moving up, making moves, becoming famous. But they also seemed to me at that time like little scattered instances of happenings. Somebody got famous here, somebody did something there. But then when I looked at the people around me, the people who I knew, we very much so seemed stagnant, despite the activities that we took part in, despite the things that we did to try to push ourselves forward. We never really seemed to take root in anything. And maybe we didn't have the same amount of passion. Maybe we just didn't know what we were doing. But why did to me at least, does that seem to be the case with a large portion of people around my age? That they seem to have started something with a strong passion, taken steps toward it, and then stopped, and then gave up. It seems odd to me. Me personally, I took steps in what I believe even now was the right direction. I think the one step I didn't take was actually going to school for what I wanted to go for. But I believe I took steps in the right direction. When I was in high school, I was involved in a lot of writing-based clubs. The school paper, the poetry club, the comic book club. I was involved in all of these things to a pretty large degree. And I had, at one point, 2 art classes a day. Did still pan practice. I did so many things that were artistic in high school. But at some point, I stopped. And it wasn't during high school, but it was after high school that it became stagnant for me. That all of a sudden, the meaning that art had for me in high school dissipated for a moment. It was like in that point in time, it wasn't as important to me as it had been. And believe me, these things were very important to me. Me and my friends had a group, and we worked on lots of stories. We worked on lots of music, lots of art. We always were collaborating, always attempting to create something new. But nothing ever seemed to come of it. And at the end, I don't think it was our situations, what was around us, the people, even though I can recall some people who got in my way. I think it was us. I think somewhere along the lines, something pushed us away from doing what we loved. Whether that be our environment or just ourselves. I know that for me personally, when I was deciding to go to college, I went for anthropology. I love anthropology. I didn't make the wrong decision in choosing that. I did make the wrong decision in not choosing something I really wanted to do, and not choosing something that I felt would suit me more. I also made mistakes in allowing people to downplay what I could and could not do. I recall one specific college counselor who thought that it would be a better idea if I were to go to a cheaper college, or that I would get a more practical education as opposed to something artistic. I don't think I should have taken her advice. I think her advice was bad advice for me. And I think that that's one of those things that pushed me in the wrong direction a little bit. But not just that. I think I pushed myself in the wrong direction. I think that for a lot of people of my generation, we have so much talent. And when I say my generation, or people like me, I want to specify that. I think a year before and a year after, so anybody who would probably be around the age, I'll just give an age range. People 20 to 25 years old right now. I think all of those people, I think they have an insane amount of talent. But I think they've entered into a world that does not want to support our age range. See, after 19, you're no longer a teenager. You're in your 20s. 25, you're almost at 30. We're right in that age range that I'm going to call limbo. We don't necessarily know what we're doing. We didn't necessarily plan where we're going in life, or we did. But at some point, we get stuck for years at a time. And then we hit around 25, 26, and somehow we figure it all out. Everything works out for us, or it just doesn't. But there's nothing that seems specifically tailored towards us, especially those of us that didn't go to college. We just struggle. We struggle with our dreams, hoping that one day somebody will notice us, that somebody will find what we're doing or what we put out and just go, wow, this is amazing, and try to assist us in those endeavors. But it seems like no one cares. I think maybe no one cares is a strong term to use, but it's also odd because I feel as if as a teenager, you're given opportunities to do things, to be a better person, to change the world around you because you're being molded, you're being changed, you're growing as a person, and being a teenager is the best time to try to accomplish your dreams. Is the best time to get that training and to get to the level where you can accomplish those dreams. But I also think that after you're done being a teenager, the world's just kind of like, there you go. Enjoy it. It's life. Have fun. And nobody knows what to do with you. Nobody knows what to do with your art, with you as a person. I think that a lot of people will resonate with hitting 20 and just feeling a little lost. Feeling like there's nothing left. And that it's just life from here on out. Now, that doesn't ring true for everyone. And I'm sure of that. I've seen people who just excel after a certain point. But for a moment, I want to talk to a more specific demographic. I want to talk to those of us who came from less privileged neighborhoods. See, I've had the opportunity to meet so many fantastic artists from these neighborhoods who are great at what they do, who deserve to be big time. But their environment, the people around them, there's no support. And I can tell you now from experience that not having support will kill your dreams faster than anything else. Or it'll raise your dreams up higher, or it'll just keep you in that place where you don't know what to do with them. See, I'm in that middle ground. I had support, but not the support that I wish I had. Not just from my family, but from people around me. And I wish I would have had that support. But at the same time, not having that support made me want to prove everybody wrong and show them that I could do it. Just kind of like now where I'm at. But at the same time, having that support made me feel like I could do it no matter what. Like I was going to do it because people counted on me to be better, to do and accomplish my dreams. And I know a lot of us who have lived in the hood who want to have these dreams, but they just can't make it that far. We always want to take the first steps. We always try to make it forward, and something always gets in the way, and then we feel like that's the end of it. And people take that as not having enough passion, but I also think that a lot of people don't really understand what goes on where we're from. The levels of self-destruction, especially in the artist community. See, in my community personally, it seems like the artists were always out to step on each other. You wanted your name out there, big billing, everyone to know who you were. But you fought for that and took other people's names out for your name to be present in the most sparkling fashion possible. I've watched it happen. I've been involved with people who are not the most straight of people when it comes to art, who have placed me into situations that would destroy my own credibility, all because their name is the one that got the big billing. I've watched it happen where people are upset because their name's not on it, because they don't feel like they are being represented, because they want what they want, which is mostly fame, something to try to take them to the next level. But instead of working with others to get to that next level, it's always, always, always destruction, tearing down, cutting a swath, kill or be killed, dog eat dog. And I feel like that's not just in the hood, but just in general. As an artist, people are always just trying to tear each other down. I feel as if during my high school years, this is where the revolution didn't happen, because everybody was too worried about what they wanted to collaborate, to come together, to make bigger things. And maybe I shouldn't speak in such a general term of everyone. Maybe I shouldn't speak in such a general term as Renaissance. But I'll specify for a moment. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's originally where I'm from. And in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we are full to the brim with artists. Everywhere. Some artists that you don't even know would be artists. And it's nothing but people tearing each other apart to get a spot, to get a name, to get this, to get that. Nobody really seems to want to help and take steps forward. Everybody just fights among themselves for whatever reason, one or another. And I feel like during my high school years, it was the same thing. People sabotaging, people fighting, people trying to get something off the ground, but just never being able to make it happen. Generally because of self-sabotage, other people sabotaging. It's insane, honestly. And I feel like a lot of these people who tried so hard, tried and gave their all in this, they hit 20 and they were just like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. Gave up. Didn't go anywhere, and neither did they. Feels like a waste of time. But I don't think it is. I think the issue with those years when I was in high school was we saw people grow from an instant. A few seconds on a video made somebody famous back then. We wanted that so bad. That seconds to give us that fame, to elevate us to the level where our art had meaning to more than just us, to show people what we were about with our art. And at the same time, I feel like that same exact idea that we could in those seconds become huge, I think it crushed us on the inside. We wanted to be like these people. We wanted to get big and make it, and we couldn't do it. But that didn't mean that we couldn't have had done it. It didn't mean that it had to end there. It didn't mean that we couldn't do what we wanted to do with our lives. But I think even now, we have so many examples of people just popping up. They're big, they're huge. It's been 30 seconds in a video and they're just out there. And it's already big time for them. I honestly feel that mentality had a hand in crushing what I believe could have been a huge artistic renaissance. What could have changed art more during that time than how much art did change in that time. I think there's so much more room for things happening at that point, and it just doesn't exist. It's not there. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have to be that way. I want to talk about this because I'm hoping that there is somebody, whether it be a collection of people or whether it be one person, who sees this and goes, yeah, I felt like that. I felt that. I was crushed under this. Who understands what I'm trying to explain. And I want that person to know that it's not over. I have multiple notebooks. My goal is to fill them with anything that I can fill involving any of my projects that I'm working on. And that's what I've been doing. When I get the chance and the inspiration, I try to fill a notebook with something. I've done pretty good, but I want to do better. And that's just my first step. Like I said, getting over fear is taking the first step in many. Same thing with this. I don't want anybody to think that it's over because they're past a certain point, because they haven't done it in a long time, because they didn't go to college, it can't happen. I'm not going to stand here as if I'm a pillar of it can happen, because I'm not here. I'm not here to tell you that. But I am here to tell you that you could try. You could decide for yourself that you're not going to give up. Some people think they don't have enough time. Some people think they don't have enough money. Take the time. Take the money. I can guarantee you that there's somewhere in your life is wasted time, wasted potential, wasted money. There always is in everybody's life. If you can find that, then you can find the time to fight for your dreams. I guess that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep trying and hope that something comes out of it. And I think that that's the most important thing to all of this. I think that's the message I want to spread is to anyone in my age range, to anyone outside of my age range, anyone who understands this idea that I'm attempting to present, it's not over. It's never over. You can do it. I can do it. I might not have the passion right now. I might not have the work ethic. I may not have it in me right now to push myself to do it. I might not be like how I was in high school. But that doesn't mean I can't push myself and train myself back into that line of thought. That doesn't mean that I can't pull myself back into what I used to do. And that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what I hope any artist who's watching this and feels crushed right now, it's what I hope you do. I hope you take the time. You find it. Scour your entire life and find the time. And do what you love. And more importantly, put it out there. Let other people see it. And I hope that it catches on. But for right now, I appreciate you taking the time to come and get some R&R. Peace.